In Tsantsabane today, frustration among local businesses reached boiling point, as members of the Tsantsabane Concerned Group disrupted a training session taking place on municipal property. The protest follows a growing pattern, they say, where a major local mining group continues to award valuable business and development opportunities to companies from outside the Northern Cape. According to small business owners who attended the session, their enterprises form part of the Mine's Job Acceleration Program, a program designed to support the growth of local entrepreneurs. Yet today's training, focused on marketing, was conducted by a company from Durban. Several participants questioned the relevance of the content, arguing that an external company cannot possibly understand the unique challenges faced by Tsantsabane's small businesses.
I know my company. And
the mining group continues to outsource key training and promotional work to companies from outside the province. For many residents, this stands in direct contradiction to the mine's SLP commitments and its legal obligation to use local service providers wherever possible. Tensions escalated further when banners bearing the mine's branding were seen at the event, despite the mining group distancing itself from a similar training session held at a local church hall just a day earlier. Participants insisted that a representative from the mine should explain why such opportunities are repeatedly handed to external service providers, especially during a time when the mine itself emphasizes cost-cutting. Local councillor Michael Mabilo added his voice, saying that whenever community members challenge the mining group or demand accountability, they are met with attorney letters and threats of legal action. The bigger question remains: why does the mine continue to outsource enterprise development and training opportunities to companies from outside the Northern Cape? For more than 15 years, the mining group has contributed significantly to the Tsantsabane community. Yet residents argue that the same mistake keeps repeating, sidelining local businesses in favor of external companies, often under the familiar excuse that locals lack the necessary expertise. Horizon Media is still awaiting an official response from the mining group. The question remains, how is it possible that after almost 15 years of mining operations, and after repeatedly filing their SLPs with the Department of Mineral and Resources, the mine continues to award valuable opportunities to companies outside the Northern Cape, despite being fully aware that local businesses and suppliers should be prioritized?
As school communities continue to bear the brunt of budget cuts, the Democratic Alliance, DA, in the Northern Cape requested the Provincial Education Department to brief the Northern Cape Provincial Legislature on its school readiness plans for 2026. Our request follows on the School Readiness Report on 2025 from the South African Human Rights Commission, which echoes observations from the DA public representatives who visited schools at the start of the academic year. This report confirms that aging infrastructure, inadequate security arrangements as well as shortages of furniture and learning materials still undermines the quality of education that can be offered to learners. At all costs, we must avoid a repetition of the chaos that reigned at the start of 2025. The Northern Cape Department of Education's decision to pay schools just 27% of funds budgeted for learning materials and only 35% of school hostel subsidies created significant financial shortfalls, leaving school communities scrambling at short notice. The South African Human Rights Commission report also confirms that this decision pushed financial responsibility on parents and caregivers of learners enrolled in no-fee schools. I've therefore asked for a briefing on school readiness, including admissions in critical grades and of undocumented learners. We need an update on the disbursement of outstanding funds to schools, the functionality of hostels, and progress with learner transport tenders. I've also asked for general reports on the state of school infrastructure, particularly in response to the findings raised by the South African Human Rights Commission on dirty toilets, unhygienic kitchens, and unsafe schools. There can be no matter more pressing than protecting the rights of school communities.
Still on education news. Across South Africa, Shocking cases continue to surface involving teachers accused, and in some cases convicted, of statutory rape and other sexual offences against learners. Recent reports from Parliament, provincial education departments, and SACE paint a deeply troubling picture. In KwaZulu-Natal alone, more than 30 teachers have faced allegations involving sexual acts with minors. In the Western Cape, a teacher's appointment was blocked after being convicted of statutory rape, highlighting how serious and widespread these offences can be. A national SACE analysis examined 474 cases of sexual misconduct by educators, confirming a persistent crisis inside the school system. These cases not only violate the law, but shatter the trust that parents place in the individuals meant to guide and protect their children. Child protection groups say the problem is often worsened by fear, silence, and the failure of some teachers to understand their legal responsibility to report suspected abuse. South Africa's laws are clear. Any sexual act between an educator and a learner is a criminal offense. But until accountability is enforced consistently, and schools are equipped to protect learners, these disturbing cases will continue to make headlines. This news bulletin was made possible by our advertisers supporting the important role of community journalism. Horizon Media brings you news from Postmasburg to Namaqualand. Subscribe to our weekly newspaper on our website.